And we're live. Hey, friends, if you're here watching the replay, thank you so much for stopping by and listening in, checking this out. My name is Svava Brooks. I'm an abuse survivor coach, and I love to support my fellow survivors on the journey towards thriving. I've written a couple of books to support my fellow journey people. One of them is the book that we're working on right here, right now in this space here on Periscope and YouTube. I'm running the live stream right now. So if you're here with us live, please say hello. Please let me know that you're here. Please let me know where you're from so we can welcome you. And if you're curious and would love to learn more about my work, please visit my website, svavabrooks.com. And if you want to join our beautiful community that we have on Facebook and here, hey Wanda, hey Sue, hey friends, how are you doing? Good to see you all. Hey Denise, how are you? Hello again, Sue. Yep, long time no see. Hey Rob, how are you doing? Are you still camping? You're still in Wales? Is that where you were camping? I am doing pretty well, Wanda. Hey, friends. I'm doing pretty well. Sorry, I was not up here on or online on Tuesday. One of those things, life catches up with you. Oh, well, but I know I have a very understanding group of people, so yes, Wales for another 20 days. Nice. Nice. I'm kind of jealous. You're just camping for weeks on end. Oh my gosh. That's my life. That's the life I want. Out in nature. And thank you for sharing those pictures. Yes, Wanda. Thank you for sharing those pictures. Hey, friends on Periscope, just to give you a heads up, I'm running the live chat over on YouTube, so I'll keep my eyes on, but please feel free to ask any questions about healing after trauma. And of course, please chime in, answer any questions, or if you have comments or feedback along the lines that we are talking about, I welcome you, I welcome you, I welcome you. Hey, Elisa. We got almost a full house today. So how nice to see you guys all. And I was just reading through our topic. Thank you, pastors. I'm leaning in. Steward, thank you. I am glad that you enjoy the scopes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I couldn't do it without you guys because this is a community effort for sure, for sure. So thank you for being here. What I was saying is that I sat down to read through some of the comments in the Facebook group before I came on, and I had to go fix my makeup. I was sobbing. So I'm like, okay, I'm glad I got the tears out of the way. But reading what you guys were writing, see, I knew it would come back. All right, I warned you. Tissues. Sue, I have tissues. Sue was scolding me today for not having tissues handy. No, she wasn't scolding me at all. She was just making fun of me. Thank you, friends. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, just so you know, in my family, we have a birthday party celebration extraordinaire, and that is my daughter, Elisa. So tomorrow, I'm just going to wake up. What I know I have planned for my birthday tomorrow is that I am going at 9 a.m. to meet up with some local colleagues for coffee. And after that, I'm coming home and hanging out with the family for the rest of the day. And I know it's going to be laughter, joy, and celebration. So see, Elisa says, I have the entire day planned. See, I feel spoiled. Yes, thank you, Sue. Thank you, Sue. Thank you, Rob. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, and then this weekend, we've all been busy with traveling. I was traveling last weekend. My husband was traveling the weekend before. Maybe we'll find a way to get on the river this weekend. I would love that. Get in the water, perhaps. So, I'll keep you posted. Well, you guys know me, I'm not shy. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. We are all deserving of love and appreciation and celebration. Always. Nice birthday treat because you have it hot. Yes, exactly. Well, it's cooled down to a little bit. I don't know what the forecast is for this weekend, but planning to go outside a little bit. Like it is my assignment to you guys most weekends. Go out, go hug a tree or two, make a new friend or two, and practice being mindful and present in nature, right? Enjoying the present moment in nature. That's like, for me, that's like going to church. All right. Thank you, Donna. Donna's here, done with physical therapy, and she's here for a heart-to-heart session. Yay. Oh, you are so funny. Yeah, Rob, I have to think about it. How old am I? Yeah, I think like 26. 26. The year before I had Elisa. Doesn't quite work out if my daughter is here with us. And how old are you, Elisa? You do the math. I was 27 when Elisa was born. And she is turning 26. All right, guys. We have some okay, let's see. I'm reporting this. Thank you, guys. I blocked it. So, but you guys, as you know, have my permission when we get creepers on here. You know, we sometimes have to jump on it just like that. Math is out of your league. Well, all good. Well, but I have to say, yes, I'm turning 53 tomorrow, but I feel, healthier than I ever have. I feel happier than I ever have. So I'm saying 40 was nice, 50 is the bomb. So that's how it goes, at least in my world. So feel very, very grateful and blessed to live with a happy, healthy body and a happy, healthy, grateful heart. And I have an amazing community. You're saying nothing, Sue, right? Thank you. Thank you, friend. I appreciate the birthday wish. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes. Yeah, exactly, Denise. 10 more years. It's only getting better. It's only getting better. So, all right, friends. So let's turn to the topic of today. It's a good one. Today we are on day 241. 70 is the double bomb. That's what I'm counting on, Sue. Sue, you make 70 look easy, my friend. You make it look easy. I know going back to biking is on my list. Maybe by the time I reach your age, Sue, I'll get back on the bike. So we are on page and day 241 in the good book. So, yeah, she does. So today we're talking about, right, there are many reasons why we reject certain parts of ourselves. whether because we thought it was the reason something terrible happened to us, or because someone told us it was an unworthy quality, or even, right, we thought that we were deserving or unworthy, period. Not even a quality, just we were unworthy. So our need for survival is so strong that we are willing to bury that within us. But as soon as we begin to heal, we discover the truth that no part of you deserved the abuse. And this was kind of, I know I'm putting a pin here for a minute. Try not to get too preachy today, my friends. No guarantees. But it was interesting because it wasn't until I started my healing journey that I recognized that, right, how much I was hurting, how much I had rejected myself, how much the self-loathing was really kind of controlling and directing my life. Right? It's like this was just normal. Everything was just normal up until then, until I met a friend who made the suggestion that maybe the stuff that I went through as a child was worth looking into. Just go take a peek. Just go talk to someone. And so that was really the beginning. I was like, no, I'm fine. That was in the past. Can't change it. Right? I'm here now. I'm fine. I'm fine. Yes, right, Sue? She says exactly that. Normal. Yes, right. And how often I have grabbed onto my chair or my tissues thinking, oh my gosh, I didn't know. And I didn't know. I did not know that I didn't know. So, but now when I bump up against something, oof, here's something else that I didn't know, it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing at all. But yes, I was very afraid of that in the beginning because I didn't know what I was going to be learning, what that was going to be showing me. And of course, my worst fear was that all the bad thoughts and feelings I had about myself, that was true. But that was not it at all. Thank you, Sue. Exactly. Sometimes it feels worse before things get better. So let me finish here before we go to our questions. Again, so as you begin to heal, you discover the truth that no part of you, no part deserved the abuse. That wasn't you and who you are that brought on you those terrible things. For many of us, we were just a child. When you learn the truth, you can begin to do the digging necessary to unearth those lost, forgotten, and discarded parts, right? The parts that we have abandoned or repressed or have gotten so good at avoiding. I was talking to Lisa about this earlier. How our biology is good at helping us just avoid, just kind of keep it just here to the side. Like my whole childhood, I wasn't one of those who, forgot. I always remembered, but it was just behind this wall here. It was just on the other side of this. I could kind of see through, but I prefer not to look. It's just there. I'm just going to let it be. So let's see. When you learn the truth, right, you can begin to do the digging necessary to unearth those lost, forgotten, and discarded parts. You can embrace them, get to know them once more, and let them see the light. You get to take back all those parts one by one until you are whole again. And you get to fall in love with this person that you were born to be, this whole person who is so worthy of love and light. And you get to be one to love. every single part that makes you, you. And I'm here to tell you, friends, each and every one of you, right, how much we feel unworthy of love. You are actually very easy to love, my friends. You are. And as I was reading this earlier today before I came on here, that was what kind of gutted me as I was reading it and think about each and every one of you. So the questions that we have today, and please, if you're here live, we'd love to hear from you. Again, please say hello. Please let me know where you're from so we can welcome you. And the questions that we're asking, what parts of yourself have you rejected? And how do you plan to make friends with them? Those of you who I talk with privately, we talk a lot about befriending our parts, befriending our feelings, befriending our resistance, befriending our avoidance, befriending our anger, befriending, right, our inner child, our young adult self, even befriending our shame, right? Because shame can't stand being seen and heard and validated and looked at. So what better than to lean in and get to know it? Shame does not feel good in the body for a long time. But once you get to know the feeling of shame in your body, it no longer drives that fear, that automatic response that you are bad. You did something horrendous. And when we get to feel it and we get to know it and we get to know the thoughts that drive that feeling, we can kind of step away from it. Whew, hey, you're back. Hey, sweet friend, this resistance, you're back. Why do you think I need protecting? I got this. I'm glad you're here. Tell me why you're here. So just giving you guys some suggestions. If you're hearing this and you struggle with any of these, or there's a part of you that you're working with and looking to embrace that you maybe feel stuck with, you're doing this dance, like where do I start? What do I do with this? It just feels like a wall that you can't even approach. So what parts of yourself have you rejected and how do you plan to make friends with them? So let me scroll down here. Some beautiful, beautiful comments today. And just to those that are not part of our community, we have a closed Facebook group where the group members share their comments and then they give me permission to share it with you. So there is a community learning here. And like I said earlier, feel free to comment and chime in. So Wanda shared with us, she says, I have many years and continue to struggle still with my body. Not my weight or the shape of my body, but it as a whole. That my body, in my mind, it represents what it represents, and that it's the venue that accepted the abuse. Oof. I hear you, Wanda. Can you guys validate Wanda here? Can anybody else relate? Can you guys relate to that? And like in your words here, right, that accepted the abuse, right? It wasn't, you didn't accept it, right? You were a victim. You didn't have a choice. You were being hurt. So, but that's right, the story we tell ourselves. And then she goes on to say, the part of the abuse that attached to my very soul. Thank you, Rob. It's better today, but a long way from healing. As far as making friends with my body, it's a daily quest. Some days I treated, see, I knew my tears weren't far off today. I'm so proud of you, Wanda. She says, it's a daily quest. Some days I treat it as if it's my best friend, and other days as if it doesn't exist. I hear you. I hear you, Denise. I hear you, friend. She says, the difference now, though, is that I recognize it for what it is and not what I was always told and felt, and that was that I was dirty and trifling. I understand where and why I ignored my body. I'm conscious now of the foods I eat. I intentionally think of the foods that are healthier. I'm getting back into swimming to move my body. I am aware of the trauma my body experienced, but I no longer hold it responsible. Yes, exactly, Wanda. Like Denise said here, always took more than I should have allowed. Again, notice your words, should. Like, you shouldn't have allowed that abuse to happen. No, 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 no. Exactly. Not your fault. Not your fault. But that's what our mind comes up with. That's the story. Excuse me, guys. That's the story that our mind comes up with, especially if we weren't helped or supported through the healing process. Soon after whatever happened, we turn it inward and we make it mean we did something wrong. We were the ones who made this happen. We make us responsible for it. And then we, right, reject, hate, not accept our bodies, because that's the container, the vessel, the holding of the hurt. And again, that makes sense. We disconnect. Your mind, when it gets too painful, we just check out, avoid. And your body and mind, okay, we got this, no feeling. We got this. So I know, and these are my tears, Wanda, I know the struggle of crawling back inside of us, coming back to this beautiful body that you've been given. Each of us, our bodies are truly miracles, and to start to lovingly take care of it. Because, yeah, that's where the hurt lives, but that's also where we get to feel the good feelings. We can't do one or the other. Or when we choose exactly to disconnect, we don't also get to feel the good stuff. Sue says, Denise, they shouldn't even have been doing it to you, not your fault. Elisa says, it's a survival technique to take on the blame. It is. Because if it was our fault, our brain can maybe think of something we can stop doing to make sure it doesn't happen again. And it keeps your mind going. Exactly. Exactly. Our mind and our body is hardwired to try to process this story for this reason, right? Why did it happen? And again, because many of us are children, our brain isn't even fully developed. So, reasoning, because this happened, the logic, and then trauma, there is no logic. Right? We revert, we are pulled out of our logical brain. We go into fight, flight, or then freeze, and then we check out. Denise, I kept saying, I want to love my body for a whole year, even though I didn't feel it or believe it. I now say I'm learning I love my body. Yes, exactly, Wanda. Because a little bit in the beginning, it's like we're faking it a little bit until we make it, right? We're just like, well, I'm not sure how this is supposed to feel. This isn't a happy home. And it's like we're loving something, but we are resisting it. I want the good feelings, but I don't want the bad feelings. It's so much of this that goes on. So taking good care of it, making time for it, be intentional about it. Those are all the signals to your mind and your body and your inner child, the hurt, wounded self in here, that is like, oh, that's what she's doing. She isn't just saying it, she's actually doing the loving action, the loving kindness. Yes, 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 Wanda. She says, I remember you told me to keep saying it, and one day I will feel it. And you were right. I'm so happy. I don't care if I was right or not, but I'm happy that you could feel it. Because that's your birthright. To feel whatever it is that we're feeling. That's being human. That's being alive. And work on, right, that rejection, that inner critic, that all the reason why we think we're impossible to love. Woo! Big win. Thank you, Wanda. Thank you so much for sharing this. You're giving hope to others, right? And the more you share it and you understand the process, then you're reminded of it. You have living it. Now there are actual steps that you can follow. You've done it before. You can do it again. Because next time we step out of our comfort zone, there it is. There we are again, met sometimes with our resistance. What are you doing? What are you rocking the boat for? I think this is enough already. So brilliant. So thank you, Wanda. So lots of great shares today. Donna says, I have rejected myself. I hear you. I see you. I feel you, Donna. She goes on to say, I don't see myself. I don't feel myself. I know I exist. I participate in the world around me. Over the years, I have worn many hats: wife, mother, teacher, etc. However, in all that I say or do, I do not have a sense of self. I can relate. Can you guys relate? We've taken on these roles. We've served these in these roles. We have done something, served somebody. We've worn these masks. Exactly. But who am I? Who is my sense of self? Hey, Georgia. So she goes on to say, adding self-affirming meditative words to my day seem ridiculous. A compliment runs off like water on a duck's back. This is a huge challenge to discover and claim a self. A plan to make friends with it by trying to slow things way down. Be curious to explore and listen for answers and maintain open-hearted compassion. for my lost self soul. Yes, you are not alone, Donna. I'm glad that you're here, because when we don't know who we are, we need a safe place with people that we're learning to trust, where they mirror back to us through their interaction with us. Like, we slowly start to see ourselves in their mirrors. And I know you've met some beautiful friendships in this group. And that's kind of how it happens in the beginning. When we don't have a sense of self, we look to others. We look to be modeled from others that are safe, right? Sue is safe. She talks like this. She feels like this. She shares like this. Maybe I'm a little bit like this. And you're doing a beautiful job, my friend. Like I said, you're going very, 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 very slow. Because when we have completely disconnected from ourselves, when we don't even see ourselves, we have to go slow. Thank you, Denise. Thank you. Because if we go too fast, like I explained to you earlier this week, it's like this is the somatic healing, right? We are learning who we are as we slowly are getting in touch with who we are. And that's a very subtle, soft, delicate process. We need to create a safety inside as we are experiencing or exploring safety out here, in an exchange with someone else. Exactly. The more you share, the more we see we are not alone or the only one. Exactly. I hear you, Wanda. I do remember, right? And I'm sure you're not alone there either, in terms of, right, once we hear other people communicate about their experiences of being hurt, we recognize, oh, wait a minute, that's me. Wait a minute, that's me. More and more than we start to see, that's who I have become because of my hurt. That's your biology that has taken over. I know sharing is not so easy. It's not easy at all. Not easy. Exactly. Right? Exactly. Thank you, Sue. And I still remember, right, the first few times that I talked about some of this hard stuff, I wanted to crawl out of my skin. Yes, judgment is difficult. And we are so incredibly judgmental and harsh and critical on ourselves. And so for many trauma survivors, we carry so much shame. And when we feel shame, it's toxic. You are attacking yourself, right? The difference between guilt and shame. Guilt is that I did something bad. When we feel shame, I am bad. And when we feel inherently bad, no matter what we say or do. So each time we explore, once we recognize, I learned to be this way, this is a trauma symptom, this is how children that grow up to be adults who were traumatized as children and along the way, this is how we end up thinking, feeling, doing. This is how we show up in the world. And again, so important along the way to remember it wasn't your fault. You have survived. You are still here. Your body is doing a beautiful job for you to keep you safe. And again, working with it, right? Slowly go in and then come back out. Go inside, explore a little bit, and then come back out. Yes, yes. It takes practice. It takes practice. And sometimes, yes, we've talked about it. It takes, sometimes it feels like it takes up all our energy, all our time. But you are worth it. Each and every one of you, you are worth that time and attention and investment in you to find that self, that self that is inside of you. It's still there. It's still there. It's so patient. It waits, and it's rooting for you. Exactly. Thank you. Thank you, Wanda. Thank you, Denise. Thank you, guys. Beautiful comments of support. So thank you, Donna. And so much awareness, right? We can't fix anything until we have some clarity, some insight, some awareness. And once we're aware of it, we see it. No longer is it just a part of us under our eyeballs, right? But once we see it, then we can do something about it. Yes, it is a scary thing to do. Yes. Yes. And it's scary because it's uncertain. There's uncertainty here. But now you have a team of people, right, that got you. And reading other people's processes and how they're working way through gives us, right, the model for how to explore. If it works for Wanda and Sue and Rob, right, and Denise, maybe it can work for me too. So thank you, Donna. Let's see here. Sue shares with us. She says, in the past, yes, thank you, Elisa. In the past, I rejected part of myself for the way I parented my children as a young mother, causing them emotional damage that is still clear in their lives today as adults. It took time and help to work through that. First, I needed to understand my feelings towards that part of myself, and then to realize that there were reasons why I behaved that way. Eventually, I was able to forgive myself, and now I mostly live at peace with that part of me. So beautiful, Sue. So precious. Right? Because that had caused you so much heartache. So much heartache. Beautiful. She goes on to say, more recently, I have been very frustrated with myself for the way I was unable to resolve a difficult issue in my life. Excuse me, guys. Finding this a bit difficult to express. Gradually, I'm coming to understand the anger and outrage that are behind that frustration. And I am needing to take time to listen to these angry and frustrated parts of me, despite the fact that I've been really afraid of them. And as I hear them, I'll need to express what they have to say, little by little, so that I can release them and find peace with them too. Yes, my friend, this makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. Makes sense to you guys? Thank you, Sue. Hey, friend. So I want to celebrate your courage, Sue. You share here like two big things that you have worked through. right? You had rejected parts of you, who you were as a young mother. Now you have accepted her. You have forgiven her. Now that you understand it wasn't her fault, right? It wasn't your fault. And you are making amends and healing and forgiving yourself to let your children go. Feel releasing them from the burden of the actions from the past. You can't change it, right? But you can forgive yourself and understand why and how you got to that point. Forgiving ourselves, that's the hardest work we do. And now you are facing some really big emotions. Facing our anger. Oh my goodness, that was the scariest thing for me in the world. And now many of us fear those big feelings. So thank you. And again, for your courage and your willingness. And what a beautiful model you are. You so eloquently share your wisdom. You're so clear in your writing. It's just so awesome to see. And I'm so happy for you. So happy for you. Find peace, Sue. Reading that made me happy. That was my happy tears for you today when I saw that you are leaning into that little by little, finding peace. Right? Because inside of us wanting peace, we are the only ones who can bring that to ourselves. Nothing, no one out here can crawl inside of us, right? And help us there. Yes, we can find someone safe to hold the space out here, but we have to do the facing internally. So Wanda says here, that's a hard one. I am proud of you. You are an inspiration to me. I shut down when I'm faced with my anger. Thank you for sharing. Yes, you have been at war with yourself for so long. Yes, I hear you. Hey, friend. Absolutely. And that's it. And everywhere where we are shooting all over ourselves, or where we think we're not good enough, or something we think we're not doing that we should be doing, right? There's a war going on inside. So celebrating Sue, your battery is dead. All right, Rob. Well, I'm glad you're here. I was just about to read your beautiful shares. Thank you for sharing your beautiful, beautiful, vulnerable heart with us. So thank you, Rob. You make my heart sing, my friend. So enjoy your camping. Thank you so much for being here. Rob actually goes on to say here, he says, I believe I was ghosted through life, aching to reject myself entirely and severing myself from feeling any feelings. So I have been firstly reconnecting with myself and allowing to feel, probably why I cry at the slightest emotional thing, e.g. Gillette advertisements. I hear you. And to accept compliments. Hearing you and all of the gang say what you see in me is what I now believe. Yes. We love you, Rob. You are one of the sweetest men that walks on this planet. And those who get to hang out with you are truly blessed. You are an amazing, amazing human. So thank you for sharing your beautiful heart and soul with us. We adore you, my friend. So scrolling down, so much good here today from you guys. Yes, thank you, Donna. That was beautiful, Sue. Beautiful, so beautiful. Denise shares with us today. She says, what I reject the most, I guess, is the idea or possibility that there is any light or good within me. It seems no matter how much I try, the darkness comes back. Every hurt or emotion comes from such a bad place that I am just thinking I have to accept the fact that this is the way it is for me. Sweet, sweet Denise. I don't know if you saw my comment. Excuse me, friends. Hey, friends on Periscope. Thanks for being here. I'm running the live stream also over on YouTube. But thank you for the hearts, Junior. I really appreciate that. Yes, thank you, Wanda. We are with you, Denise. And I want to encourage anybody that is here, if you haven't already, just to validate this experience that Denise is having. We hear you. We hear you. You're not alone, my friend. Can you guys relate? Do you remember those moments of thinking there is no light, there is no good in me, in this body, in this heart? This is it. I hear you, Denise, and I understand the terrible hurt you have been through. It's a lot, my friend. It's a lot. Exactly. That's right, Sue says, glad you are still here. There is hope. You are not all bad. Again, that is our trauma. Exactly. Some of us need constant reminders that there is peace. Yes, my friend. We do. We do. You resisting the isolation and reaching out is your light shining. Exactly, Wanda. Thank you, Wanda. I hope you see that, Denise. When you reached out, even when your fingers were trembling and your voice was shaking, you told us about your hurt. You took a risk of being vulnerable and asking for help. And we are so glad. Exactly. We are so glad that you did, because so much of that is our trauma conditioning speaking. Your trauma brain talks you into, right, that why bother? Nobody cares. This is just how it is for you, right? That repeated loop that we sometimes get caught in. So you did the right thing, and I'm so glad that you're here and you are sharing with us. And I know how hard you work. I know how much, hey friend, you care about your kids, you care about your job, how much you give of yourself. Yes, we are proud of you, and we are so glad that you are here with us. Hang in there, my friend. Keep coming back. Keep coming back. There are a few people in this space that not so long ago exactly felt very similar in so many ways. Yes, that's right, my friend. Here in Periscope, we are trained to isolate, but it is, right? It's basically that's our trauma. That's our training. Again, we learn to be this way. There wasn't anybody there back then, but there are people for you here now. But we may need to remind ourselves, and each time you reach out, just to say, I'm having one of those days. Today is hard. I'm feeling like I don't matter. And I hope from the little bit of experience in our closed Facebook group that you have found, when you do share that you start to recall that and remember those that those moments, oh yes, last time I reached out, they all responded with kindness and love and encouragement and support. And each time we do, you're actually rewiring your brain. You're modeling for your body what social engagement looks like. You are breaking out of that trance of isolation. Yes. Thank you, Wanda. Wanda says, I was one of those people, Denise. I kept saying over and over, I learned to be this way. I can learn to be different. I learned to be this way. I can learn to be different. Yes, I wrote that on not just a sticky note. That was on a big piece of paper. It was on my bathroom mirror. It was on the wall throughout my house, a few places. I needed to be reminded over and over and over again, because being worthless and no one cares, why bother? That was like breathing to me. Like that was constantly what was living inside of me. And I didn't even hear it until one day I heard it. And then, and again, you're funny. Yes, exactly. And that's why we do have a closed support group, my friend. We do have a closed group on Facebook where we share our journey and our journaling from this book. So again, if you want to learn more, please email me or visit my website, svavabrooks.com, to learn more. I would not have been able to heal without a group. No way. No way. And again, awesome. Perfect. Good for you. That's awesome. Wanda says here, I even went to bed with earplugs with Svava saying it repeatedly. That's beautiful, Wanda. I recommend it. There is hearing something soothing and comforting for us. So there's a few audiobooks that are my favorites that I, a few years ago, I would just keep them on repeat. The language, the words, the tone, it just soothed my heart. And I didn't know how to say those things to myself, but I found some audiobooks with messages or mantras that really were helpful to me. And actually hearing those things calms down our nervous system. There's something about hearing those things with warmth and kindness and compassion. That's right, Donna. She says hopelessness can sometimes or even oftentimes be in all capital letters, but it's a lie. Yes. Yes. Hopelessness. But hopelessness is like overwhelming. That overwhelming feeling, it's a felt feeling. It's an embodiment of, right, I'm stuck. I'm overwhelmed. I am hopeless, helpless. And to know when that is happening in our body, what that then triggers in our mind. So it's beautiful when we can know, and it's hard when we're in the middle of the storm to remember, wait, what was I supposed to think of again when things got hard? What were the self-care steps that I was supposed to do when I'm struggling, right? So that's why sometimes it's just like, here I am having a rough day. Here I am, right? Just doing that, and that takes courage. It does. So exactly, sticky notes, right? I've passed on that to Sue. She started with her sticky notes. Yeah, because we all have these words or phrases that really resonate with us. So whatever we can write out to remind ourselves and try to interject, when our mind is in that spin cycle, we can, oh no, that's right. I'm not impossible. I learned to be this way. I've trained for 20, 30 years to be this way. I can learn to be different. I am learning how to be different. I've learned, what the process is, what it sounds like and looks like. Now I'm just working on what it feels like. Yes, exactly. It is crucial to find the words that have a meaning for you, right? What are your feeling words? Often the need words. What did you need? What did you need to hear? What did you really long to hear and to know? All so important in our process here. So got me through a really tough time. That's right, Sue. I swear by sticky notes. I love sticky notes. Or I'll take my eyeliner or lipstick onto the bathroom mirror and just write it there and keep it there until, okay, I'm ready for the next one. Beautiful. Thank you so much for your beautiful, beautiful, heartfelt, even though hard shares today. Because this is it. And this is why I was in tears. I put a note in the Facebook group. That's right. I put a note because as I was reading through your notes and all, yes, the hard stuff, I also know, like, this is where we get to know who we are, the truth. And yes, when we bump up against some of the hard stuff, that's also where we recognize, oh my gosh, this has been here all along. I can't believe how strong I've been. This is definitely not my fault. I am not going to let this live inside of me anymore. I am going to do like the outrage a little bit. I'm going to do whatever it takes for me to release these thoughts. I'm going to release these beliefs, and I'm going to work hard every single day. Sometimes one breath at a time, baby steps, until I have integrated and embodied and believed, yes, that I am inherently good and valuable and worthy. And I'm specially valuable, good, and worthy of my own love, kindness, and self-care. And again, that's where the group comes in and helps because, right, for so many of us, thank you, yes, I am. We didn't know what it looked like. We didn't know what it sounded like, right? So we learn from each other. So I pulled a beautiful card, as always, for us. One day she woke up and decided that she or he was worthy. And then in the small print right here, it says, and her soul cried out with joy. That was it. My tears for you guys earlier as I was reading through your journal entries, I was crying out of joy for all of you guys. Because once we know who we are and that we are worthy, we take a stand for that. This is me. Then we get to know who we are. Then we get to know who we are, and we get to choose. We get to choose. And we get to choose by taking responsibility for the parts that we can change. We cannot change the past, but we can learn to be present in our bodies, in our hearts today, now, so we can make different choices, not just driven because of fear of the past or worry about the future, but really standing fully in this amazing body that is working so hard for you. Because this is it. You get to experience life in here. Life isn't experienced out here. Yes, things happen, players and the act, and but where it's really experienced is inside of us. So thank you, beautiful souls. Today, right, we talked about how do we need to accept all our parts, all the parts that we have rejected. You each are just amazing, beautiful beings of love and light. And like I said, it is just an honor and a privilege to get to be here with you. Yes, exactly. Nurture yourself. Thank you, friends. Yes, I am looking forward to celebrating my birthday tomorrow, knowing me and my family, it's going to be a birthday weekend. So thank you, friends. Thank you so much. And again, thank you for sharing so courageously out here with other people. You have no idea who you are inspiring by sharing from your hearts. Thank you, friend. Thank you for the birthday wish. So have a lovely weekend. I'll see you back here on Tuesdays. Remember, we're here Tuesdays and Thursdays, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And again, if you're curious about the book, you can find this book on Amazon or Kindle, and you can look my website up, svavabrooks.com, if you want to learn more about the services that I provide. Thank you, sweet friends. Have a beautiful weekend. I'll see you next time. Thanks, friends.